Good morning and happy Saturday to you. It's time to do another talk o'clock. A week has gone by, and on Saturdays, as you all know, I review the artwork that I did and or published this week, with the focus of the ones that I published. And I'm this week talking about some of them that I didn't shoot a video for, but also made this week. So in the last talk o'clock on Thursday this week, I told you that I'm back from vacation and that I would take this particular vlog here to talk a bit about that. And I was on the Baltic Sea for a week with my family. And as you probably know, if you ever had the chance to visit an ocean area in winter where it's really freezing cold and you have snow and ice and whatnot, there is a particular light that you will experience in that area, which I find very inspiring. So I did a couple of paintings already, very much inspired by the Baltic Sea, and there's a couple of them coming up since I redecorated parts of the house with stones and wood and seashells that I brought with me from that vacation. And yeah, you might have some ocean sceneries paintings coming up the next couple of weeks. I'm very sorry for this theme thing that I'm forcing on you, but I just gotta go with the inspiration, and I think you understand that particular part. But going into what I painted, I think, let me see on the screen. Yeah, you can see parts of what I got on my desk here. And I'm starting, as always, with the one that I published on Monday, and that was the art journal page for the week. The impromptu vacation thing. Which I pretty much did the week before I went on vacation, just because I knew already and I had to pre-record. And now pretty much, it's almost 2 weeks ago that I made that page. A lot of time has gone by, and excuse me, and looking back on it, there are still parts I like a lot, and if I remember correctly, they're the same parts that I liked while I painted or while I made that page and while I narrated the video for it. So there's parts like, for example, the globe here with the north, east, south, and west compass that I really like. I like how the zinc white put the map into the back of the page, but still lets you see it, so I really like that. I still like the button and how the copper spray worked out, and of course the string here, do like that. I'm okay with the way the grass is. It's not my favorite feature of the page because it's just too well balanced and too geometric looking, but I guess it's fine for the purpose of the page and for the point that I had to glue it all down, and it was really tricky to glue chunks of the grass down. All in all, I still like it. I would have maybe put the sentiment, which means vacation family style. I would have maybe put it up here so that you can really read it, because it's just kind of lost back there. But all in all, it's a solid page, and I'm very much okay with it. It's not my favorite, and it's not gonna be my favorite of the year. But all in all, I think it's a solid page, and I enjoyed doing it, which is the most important reason for me to make art journal pages. I have to be creative. I have to get thoughts out, and have to have art as my outlet. And I have to enjoy myself. So an art piece that would be gorgeous, but I hated painting it or really did not enjoy the process, is way less worth to me than a page that is maybe not the greatest, but I really had a fun time doing it. So that was the first piece that I published this week. slash did this week, for this week. I don't know how to put it, but I guess you know where I'm going. The second one was on Tuesday. It's the Tiny Tuesday, and it's really tiny, 7 by 9 centimeters, totally small. And this one was just made with the indigo blue acrylics that I had from another art piece, which I'm going to talk about later. I had that color on my palette, and I thought, well, I'm just gonna put it on a Tiny Tuesday piece, and I'm going to see what I want to do with it way later. Well, that way later was an hour later. It's like, yeah, why did I ever think I would do it on another day? That's just so not me. Yeah. Anyways, so this was done with ink in yellow, white, magenta, and that's that. And the blue acrylics and a tiny bit of paper, pattern paper with a red pearl. So if you saw that video, you know that this was quite the simple piece, but I kind of like it for the point that it's not trying to be something, as in it's not trying to tell a story, at least not in my humble opinion. This is just something nice to look at. It's not a piece that has a particular story to it or that wants to show you something or wants to have your attention on something like anything that any portraits, maybe any way that humans interact with others in certain kinds of circumstances. It's not very historical or taking care of any or working with architecture so that you could maybe pinpoint a certain place on the planet or whatever. So this is just, it's a flower. Yeah, that's all it is. And for that, I kind of like it. I like its simplicity, but still, I think, especially with the pearl on the flower, it has some kind of style and chic, which is totally weird. But again, like this piece, still a week or two after actually painting it. So now I gotta take a sip of coffee. Because it's very early in the morning. It's not even 10 a.m., which is totally unusual for me to be dressed and awake with my second cup of coffee and filming. So, weird schedule. Anyways, and the next one, I'm just gonna scoot back a bit because it's my point of view painting. Can you still see me? So, this is the painting where I took the dark blue indigo color from. So this one is another one of my Palettendreckbilder. I'm just going to let me glance at the screen with no glasses on so I can really see anything. Great. So unprofessional. Anyway, this one here is a Palettendreckbild, which you probably know by now. I do them when I have any color remaining on my palette. When I finish the painting, I'm just splashing it on some canvas and see what kind of patterns or what kind of image evolves over weeks. So it could be abstract, it could be cartoony, it could be anything that I see. And this one here took me forever. I think this is 3 or 4 layers before I saw something. And then working on what it is. And for this being so abstract, you'd probably be like, why? What? Huh? You know? Here's the thing. This is how I started it. Next time I didn't remember how I started it, so I turned it. And the week after I turned it. And then I turned it. And every time I saw something different. And I had big trouble to work at the things that I saw just because I had a totally different kind of, well, inspiration. I did associate other things. I had a different point of view. That's why I named it. And in the blog on my website, which you can see on www.pinselgeschichten.de, also it's in the video, description down below, there's a link to my website. You just click on the photo and there's a whole story in German and English. I talk about the different angles of the painting, what I see there. So if you want to have more in-depth information about what I actually see once I turn the painting, just hop on over after this video, take a read. It's ridiculous, but it was the first time ever that I experienced something like that with a Palettendreck build, because usually I do have an angle, I do have a point of view, and then I just flop on the color until I see something weird. Totally weird. However, I really like the outcome. Again, it's very abstract and I hardly ever go for, well, classic abstract paintings. But this one is one that I really like. I like the color combinations in the end, and it was only done with Palettendreck, which is any weird mixed color on a palette. I didn't. Sometimes when I know what I see, I use colors from the containers to really paint the painting then, but not with this one. This was only remaining stuff on the palette and just trying to see and figure out what I want to paint. And my house makes weird noises over there. I'm sorry, I hope you can't hear that on the video. Yeah, these were the things that I published that you probably saw a video of. Now, since I was on vacation, I took my painting bag with me with watercolors, Copic markers, and that's that pretty much. That were the only two media, like permanent markers of course, but no other media that I took with me. Just different kinds of papers, but for the painting, mostly watercolor and Copics then. So I did, all in all, I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces, but, well, I'm sometimes not really the smartest person, so 2 of the paintings I gave away as a gift, and I forgot to take photos of it, so I can't show you. However, the third one I can show you, and I did paint this lovely scenery, which is some stranded wood from the sea on the shore of the ocean. And the area that I went has sand and chalk, so it's very, very stony, very white yellow-ish when it comes to the surface. So the thing, and it has like, oh, what's it called? It's not subtle that the land rises, but you have the beach and then it goes like this. So, like a cliff, maybe? I think it's called a cliff. I don't know. You know what I mean though, right? So this is the beach here on the lower part, and then it goes up high, and up here there's the top of the cliff with trees. So this is pretty much a scene that I saw there, that I also photographed and took as a reference, and I really like the colors. I like the way the trees worked out here, that were really just scratching some lines into paper and painting them with, I think I took 4 colors only, which was light ochre, a sepia brown, ultramarine blue, and what was the other one? Prussian blue. Two kinds of blue. And the 5 colors, the cadmium orange, which is actually just a warm yellow with watercolors. So that's all that's in here, plus the white, but I took the zinc white acrylics for that, since I didn't have any white watercolor with me, or gouache, or whatever you'd use. And I didn't want to use permanent markers, because then the highlights would be too harsh here. So even up here, that's not permanent marker, that's the zinc white. However, what I like and did not like in the end, I like the wood a lot. I like that it's the focal point and that it worked. I like the ocean, I like the upper part. I'm not too happy with this section here, and that is the cliff where the earth just slid down and went muddy. So you have a couple of bushes there with, and I don't know the name of the plant, but it has orange berries that you make juice and liquor of. It's very local, very, very common thing. But I did not like the outcome, and I could work and work forever on this particular part here in the background, and it would not come together. So at one point I just thought, well, I'll just leave it. It's just one piece. Maybe I retry one day, and maybe then I just hit it off with that particular section. But anyways, I like the feel of the painting. It's very calm. It's very wintry on the ocean, I think. Although you don't see any snow, and I saw snow on the Baltic Sea. The beach was white with snow. Anyways, I'm probably, just to mention it, I'm probably going to edit a couple of the photos that I took for inspiration and whatnot of the landscape there, and I'm going to put them on my webpage. So check for any update on that, probably I'd say in 1 or 2 weeks time. Check on that on my Facebook page. I might, if I'm able to speak, I might remember saying something about an update in a future Talk O'Clock. So let's keep fingers crossed, right? The other 2 paintings that I did were the Sea Star, and I did them with Copics and permanent markers on transparent paper, which is, I think it's a 6" by 6" paper, which is 15 centimeters. Yay, math. And one of the days that I was up on the Baltic Sea, we visited a museum about all of the different oceans on Earth and what kind of plants and fishes and other animals live in these particular kinds of oceans, and how different they are just by temperature and blah blah blah. So there were a lot of gorgeous, gorgeous fish and sea stars and other plants and animals and whatnot, and I took a shitload of photos. I'm sorry for my language. And they inspired me so much, because you had these, a lot of the times, you had these dull oceany colors, grays, blues, sometimes a bit of a green, and then in there popped an orange, bright orange and purple sea fish star. What's it called in English? Damn, I knew before. Did I even say it? God damn. Well, that thing, right? I think it's called a sea star. Not sure. Maybe I'm just Germanizing English, who knows. So, painted that with the Copics, took a photo in the museum, of course, and don't worry, I got a license, so I paid for all the photos that I took in the museum, and I'm allowed to take them as art inspiration, not have to give credit to the museum like all of the time, just bought the license for it. Anyways, this one here, and let me get, where do I have it? Of course, I don't have it here. Well, let's take this one. Just because it's transparent paper and you can probably on camera hardly see, I'm just gonna take some white paper behind it, and that looks way better. So now you can see. And I pretty much painted only from here down with warm grays, cold grays, purple, red, orange, and white, the permanent marker white. A bit of black. I think I added a bit of black. That's that. So I really like, so this is the ocean floor, and that star is just chilling. And I really liked the scenery, so I thought I'd just paint it, and I had a blast painting this one. And the other one that I did the same night was another one that I saw, which is more in the cool grays only, with a bit of purple, pink, and white. So these, and I don't even know the name. I know the German one, I don't know the English one. Wow, embarrassing. So this animally plant that you probably know the name of. Wow. I'm gonna check on my dictionary. So this is pretty much a cliff or a rock formation underwater, and they just sit on one of the stones, and they're not corals, by the way. I know that. That's not the name of it. So they just sit there on the stone, and they wave their white hairs, or whatever you call them, in the water, and it was totally gorgeous. And I thought I'd use that as an inspiration as well to draw it. And I like that the Copic markers on transparent paper are almost, well, they remind me of watercolor. They are not watercolor, and they don't behave and in the end look like them. Watercolor is way smoother, but it's the closest thing to that style, having markers on transparent paper. And I'm going to do a couple of these kinds of paintings, or with that mixture of media, on in the future. So I really liked the page, and for this one, Clever Me, I shot a video, and it's low quality because I didn't have my video lights with me, of course. But I'm going to put it at the end of this video so you can see how this tiny page came together, this tiny painting. And yeah, you can be sure that there will be some high resolution video of another kind of these paintings on this, with these media in the future. Now, I think that's that. I hope I did not forget anything. Otherwise, leave a comment with a question or whatever, if I didn't make sense. Or maybe you want to let me know what those animals or plants are called in English. Who knows? Anyways, I'm gonna wrap up. I'm gonna edit, and then, oh, it's so heavily snowing today. I have to go outside. I don't want to. Yeah, gotta do that and have other stuff to do. So I hope you have a very good weekend. Enjoy whatever you're about to do. And if you have any questions, any comments, anything, just let me know in the section below. Otherwise, I would love for you to like, share, and or subscribe if you haven't already. And thanks again for watching. Have a very good one. See you tomorrow with a Gamers Couch. Bye.